Done it. Welcome to Daytona Milton Keynes.
A 1.4 kilometre go-karting track which is home to the UK's most powerful rental kart, the D-Max. Located only 8 miles away from the Red Bull F1 team factory, today I'm going to be trying to set a lap time faster than some of the best F1 drivers of all time.
And this is Ben. He works here and he's the track expert. Today he's going to be trying to help me match some of these F1 drivers, or even just get it within a few seconds. If you were wondering how we're actually going to tell how fast I'm going compared to some F1 drivers, we have Lewis Hamilton here, who did a high 108, Max Verstappen, a mid 107, and George Russell, a low 107. Today I'm going to be trying to get somewhere near that and see how good a first time karter can get compared to an F1 driver.
In all honesty, this wasn't actually my first time driving this track. Just before this, I drove Daytona's slower kart, which is called a Sodi. It's about half the speed of the D-Max, so the step up is pretty insane. Another thing that I didn't notice at the time, mainly because of how much more powerful the D-Max was compared to the Sodi, was that I was accidentally pressing down both pedals.
He's not too clever, this guy.
Okay, so that's my first lap done. I'm pretty happy with it. I've warmed up my tyres and I'm thinking it's time to go for a push lap. This first corner is flat out. It's an amazing corner. Little bit of oversteer there, but I managed to control it. Into the second corner, and I spun. Again, and again, and again. I spun 11 times in 7 laps, which of course is nothing to be proud of. However, I was slowly learning the track, and as you can tell, I'm taking the corners better. Just a reminder that the time I'm trying to set today is faster than Nick Heidfeld. He was the slowest F1 driver who's set a lap round here, and if I can beat him, then I guess I've beat the challenge. My first stint in the D-Max lasted 10 laps, and by the end of this stint, I had set a time of a 1 minute 20.872, which is about 8.5 seconds off Nick Heidfeld's time, or in Formula 1 terms, the average time it usually takes Ferrari to do a pit stop. This is just me pulling into the pits, and at this point I didn't actually know that I was quite far off the pace. Unfortunately the microphone didn't actually work, so I'll just have to voice over what was said. At the start of this video, I mentioned Ben. Fun fact about him, he's done 2,000 laps around this track, and for me to get anywhere near Nick Heidfeld's time, I'm going to need his help. At this point I was just waffling, trying to tell him what I'd learned, but I didn't know I only had an hour and a half left until the track closed for the day. Ben basically told me, follow my line and you will get better, as that's what I did. And for the next 12 laps I desperately tried to stay as close to the end of his car as humanly possible. Now of course, this doesn't always go to plan. Somehow I found myself ahead of Ben here. We're going into this fast right-hander, and I've run wide. He goes straight up the inside of me, which is pretty humbling. Another thing that I just quickly wanted to mention, guys, is how the hell has Ben saved it here? The apex is literally 10 metres away and he's at like a 50-degree angle. If someone can explain to me how he saved that, please do put it in the comments. Sorry, I'm going off track. Anyway, back to the main point of the video, and I was gaining some serious lap time. By the end of this little session that we had that lasted 12 laps, I had gained 4.5 seconds. This put my lap time to a 1 minute 16.243 seconds. I was about 4 seconds off Nick Heidfeld. This means that with only an hour left of track time remaining, I had to find 4 seconds. One of the things you may have noticed is that I haven't actually spun or crashed in a while. However, that's all about to change. This is the lap that could have been, and I tried to put some F1 commentary on it. Enjoy.
But this is where he needs the toe on the long straights on the backside of the track.
Oh, he's leaving no margin out there at all. This is it. This is the lap of the weekend. Back end of the car still sliding around a little bit on him through there. He has been mighty through this section of the racetrack, and at the moment it's sticking for him.
Did he touch the wall? He got perilously close to it there, Max Verstappen. As he hits the wall, right at the final corner, Max Verstappen hits the wall.
So yeah, that hurt. And if you were wondering why I thought this was the lap that could have been, it's mainly due to these section of corners here. Turn 2, I've nailed. Turn 3, I've got a perfect exit. As you can see here, I'm really close to the apex. At this point, I'm thinking, I've set myself up well here. Maybe I can gain about half a second. Maybe I can beat Nick Heidfeld's time. This is a different lap, and you can see how much further away from the apex I am, and that I've also got to try and correct myself for the third turn. And then this happened, with proper audio. This is another thing that I just quickly wanted to point out. This is me on a good lap versus a bad lap. The bad lap is obviously where I crashed, and you can see how far away I am from the racing line. And this is mainly why I believe I crashed. So at this point, I think it's fair to say I was pretty disappointed. And with only about 25 minutes to go, this happened.
Return to the Mac. Get up what it is, what it does, what it is, what it isn't. Looking for a better way to get up out of bed instead of getting on the internet and checking a new hit. Me get up. First shot, come strut walking. A little bit of humble, a little bit of cautious. Somewhere between like Rocky and Cosby's for the game. Nope, nope, y'all can't copy ya. Glad moonwalking, and this here is our party. My posse's been on Broadway, and we did it all way. Chrome music. I shed my skin and put my bones into everything I record to it. And yeah, I'm on. Let that stage light go and shine on down. Got that Bob Barker suit game and Plinko in my style. Money, stay on my craft and stick around for those pounds. But I do that to pass the torch and put on for my town. Trust me, on my INDEPENDENT shit hustling. Chasing dreams since I was 14 with the 4-track bustin'. Halfway across that city with the black.
I had done it. In the end, I set a 1 minute 10.701. This put me 1.6 seconds ahead of Nick Heidfeld. And I know what you're thinking, 6 seconds improvement in 1 hour is pretty heavy. However, I have cut this video down quite a lot, and to be honest, I do actually think I got pretty lucky. Compared to some F1 drivers, this is how I did. I'm about 2 seconds off Lewis Hamilton, and about 3.5 off George Russell. Maybe if I came back again I could try and get close to their time, but let's be honest, I'm probably not beating that. These guys are unreal. And finally, I just want to give a huge shout out to Ben and the team at Daytona. The track at Milton Keynes is legendary, and so are the D-Maxes. I've left a link in the description to their website, be sure to try and check it out if you're in the UK.